Spoken English Series. Accents. First, you will hear one or two sentences from a different speaker, each representing a different accent. Listen to this chain of accents and try to identify as many as possible.
And here I am, back here today, still writing about them, bars and restaurants in Hungary, writing about the bars and restaurants in Warsaw, and even writing about the bars and restaurants in Prague and Slovakia and Croatia.
Restaurateur and restaurant manager, it's always great to eat out. It doesn't help my figure or anything, but it's a great hobby, you know. Good food, good wine, good company. What more could you ask for? It's good.
When I was younger, I used to enjoy playing soccer, which is known as football in Europe. And it served me well because when I was 12 years old, I came to Budapest, Hungary, the land of my mother's birth.
He was working for VSO, which is Voluntary Services Overseas, and he met her at a festival for rain, which they do occasionally each year for the crops and the rain gods to rain down on the crops and give a fruitful harvest.
Since then, I've published 4 titles. In 1978, Death in the Desert. 1982, Blood on the Nile. 1988, The Battle for Africa. And finally, in 1993, my magnus opus, The Definitive Guide to Zulu Cooking.
I've developed many hobbies here. I play guitar for fun, and I write poetry. I'm writing a novel at present, none of which have been published. Computers I work on, and I enjoy creating things in general.
It was also, in some ways, kind of educational to see the different reactions you got from people when you appeared on the doorstep, and just peering into different people's houses and the reactions they got.
I'm also interested in the textiles and the folk culture, and have traveled in Romania extensively to collect different kinds of weavings and embroideries that are made by the peasants who live there.
And in between I went to live in Berlin for a year, which was good. It was less exciting than when the wall was there. The wall had come down in 89 and I was there 92, 93. But it was still a very interesting experience.
So I worked in a bakery, baking bread every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. That was a tough job, getting up at that. And it was such a horrible, badly paid job, about £1 an hour, that was the incentive for me to get some education.
Todd, where are you? Well, I'm in Jackson Square. I wasn't actually in Jackson Square. I was just in the most convenient place that the dispatcher wanted me to be. So I would tell them whatever they wanted to hear, because it was easy to get around the city, so it was no problem.
Like I said, I want to stay here. I will work on this project through the summer, and in the new year, I plan to go to Asia again, to Korea, and there I will help a friend of mine with an English language school.
My father owned a pub, and in the pub he used to have occasionally live music, and this is, I think, was the first time I was introduced to live music in pubs, which is maybe why I was influenced to become a musician.
So I needed some money to run the car, and I was doing things like gardening and filling up supermarket shelves at night time, and also even working in a pub, picking up glasses and picking up plates and things like that.
Sometimes we would just go to Tenerife for maybe 2 or 3 days, or even once to Morocco just for a weekend. Life out there was so different, it was incredible. Every day was a holiday.
I was a big reader growing up as a child. I read voraciously. I read constantly. And when I was in school, I always excelled in history and English. I was always terrible in math and science.
Which is what I've been doing for the last 4 years, off and on, in between various trips to various cities I loved, such as Zagreb and Prague. The next step I'm not too sure of, but I'm sure it involves a drink, a few friends, and some more music.